One thing the Apollo missions drove home about our nearest celestial neighbor is that it is a very harsh place with almost no atmosphere, dust that's more like asbestos than what we have here on Earth, and zero liquid water on its surface. A harsh mistress indeed, to quote Heinlein, an utterly dead landscape, and it's been that way for billions of years. But this may not have always been the case, to the point that the moon might once have been an abode for life. In a paper by Dirk Schultz-Macook and Ian Crawford, link in the description below, they detail that as study of the moon has progressed in recent years, it has become evident that the moon does possess more water than previously thought, not just locked up in ice in shadowed craters at the poles, but also deep down within its interior. Shortly after the moon formed, after Proto-Earth's collision with Theia about 4 billion years ago, there was a time where it was completely molten. This is thought to have led to a period of outgassing, which might have allowed the early moon to build up an atmosphere of water vapor. And in fact, at one point, it may have been even more substantial than Mars's current atmosphere. Also possible at this time was that the moon may have been generating a protective magnetosphere. As the moon cooled, this might have allowed for liquid water to be present on the surface of the moon for a time, or in protected environments just beneath the surface. Also happening during this period were lots of impacts, which might have delivered the building blocks of life to the moon. This allows for two possibilities. The first is panspermia from Earth. If life arose here, which may have happened as long ago as 4.1 billion years, and coincided with the moon's period of habitability, then it's possible that a meteorite blasted off the surface of the Earth might have contaminated the moon, and for a time, Earth's microbial life might have inhabited two worlds instead of just one. The other possibility is native moon life. We know from Earth that as soon as life could get going on this planet, it did. This may also have been the case for the moon. This leads to several interesting possibilities. The earliest life on Earth is still here. When the plants began photosynthesizing, it made Earth's atmosphere poisonous to these very primitive early microbes, but they didn't go away. They simply retreated to environments where they could continue to thrive, including underground. If any life present on the moon likewise retreated underground as the surface became uninhabitable, and the moon has significant amounts of water and heat below its surface, that life, in principle, could still be there, or fossilized evidence of it. Europa or Enceladus the moon is not, but it's still a maybe, if a long shot. And it's also possible that life present on Earth now actually originated on the moon, meaning that the Apollo missions were technically Earth life returning to the home world after a long period of being marooned on Earth. Unfortunately, detecting the presence of past life on the moon would be very difficult. The moon shows no evidence of the action of liquid water. Any such evidence would have been destroyed both by volcanism early in the moon's history and also the process of gardening that occurs on the moon as micrometeoroids constantly impact it and slowly resurface it. To find out for sure, geologic evidence from very early in the moon's history would be needed, but it is possible to find it, such as ancient rocks that might be preserved below a solidified lava flow. Still, it will be difficult. But this possible habitable period for the moon is interesting to think about, as is the idea of the moon with a substantial atmosphere. I wonder what it looked like from here.